Hello and welcome to my review of the Framed Flagstaff Carbon mountain bike. So, decided to get a newer bike for my wife. She'd been riding an older Trek that had, ancient pinch brakes, and it just was low tech. She rode it. I wanted to make sure she was really into it. So, I looked at a lot of bikes. I decided on this bike, but strangely, there was really no reviews online about it. So it was a little difficult to make a decision. Basically, what I did is I looked at a lot of the specs. I had called Framed, talked to somebody, sent a lot of emails back and forth. So I decided to pull the trigger on this bike. This is the 16-inch frame version. They have the 14 and a 16. One of the things when you look at it, because of that drop-down frame, you're going to think, like I did, that it's really like a rail trail bike or a general purpose bike, and maybe it's not really a mountain bike. But actually, it is. Now, it has good mid-level components. It's pretty light, rough weight as equipped, as you see it here, was 25 pounds, which is not bad for a carbon bike with mid-grade components. There's lighter, I understand, but you're also not going to get one of those for just under $1,000. Couple of things that, I noticed when we got the bike is that it comes with disc brakes, but they're the Avid BB5. They're a cable-operated disc brake. And, the reviews on those were somewhat sketchy, but I can tell you that, yes, hydraulic brakes have a better feel. They're also a lot more money. And with these brakes, you do have enough power to lock up the rear wheel whenever you want, and to put yourself over the handlebars with the front wheel. So, it could easily be upgraded, which I may do at some point, but for now, we're going to leave it. One of the things I did upgrade immediately was the tires. It came with Hutchinson Cobras. I believe they were 2.3s. Or 2.2s, which is a very narrow tire. It has a lot of tiny knobs. And it's a great tire, in my opinion, for rail trail, around town, because they roll good, or very light mountain bike trail use. If you're going to use this bike for serious mountain biking, my opinion is you're going to want to upgrade the tires. Now, what I did is I put Continental Trail Kings on them. It was the 2.6 size front and back. There's plenty of room. You could probably get 2.8s or maybe even 3.0s in there. But and what a difference in handling and ride and control it made for her. We live in the Catskill Mountains. There's a lot of trails here, up and downhill. They're very rough. There's a lot of rock gardens, a lot of roots. There's all kinds of dirt. And those other tires just didn't really offer the traction. I got to say, though, that like for riding down the road, they're great. But the Trail Kings, and there's probably a lot of other tires that are equally as good, made a huge difference, transformed the bike into what I would say is a real mountain bike. And just as an interesting aside, 2 weeks ago, Windham Mountain has the downhill park for bikes, and we did a couple of runs downhill, and at no point did she felt like she didn't have good brake or that she didn't have good control with the tires. Now, granted, both of us are just like intermediate riders. We're not professionals or anything like that, but worked great. Very happy with it. It's a light bike. It's not a flexi flyer. It's nice and stiff. The rims are aluminum. So you could go lighter if you wanted to upgrade to carbon fiber, but my opinion is I don't think you really need to. SRAM 1X by 11 shifting Shifts great. There's no issues with it. Brakes are good. Like I said, I may upgrade to juice brakes over the winter possibly. And the only other thing I am going to add is a dropper post, because for downhill or when you got steep sections of trail like we have around here a lot of, I'm going to say that a dropper post is a must. But other than that, this is probably going to be the first review online of the bike. I'm not really going to do a ride review of it because, we're not professionals. We're just intermediate recreational riders. And if I do a through the woods or trail review of her on this bike, most people are probably going to be bored. That being said, for the price, I think it's going to be nigh impossible to get a carbon frame and mid-grade components from another manufacturer for much below $1,800. There's a lot of used ones out there theoretically when you can find them, but they usually get snapped up very quickly. So anyway, there's the review. Anybody has any questions, feel free to post them. I'll answer as best as I can. And just for the record, we have two other framed bikes. We have the Framed Minnesota. That's her other bike. And I recently purchased the Framed Marquette Carbon 27.5 Plus bike, which I'm going to put a review of that. Anyway, thanks for watching.